Straight ahead on Falcon Weekly, the South gets soaked. Floodwaters are receding across the region. Find out if more wet weather is in store this week.
And behind bars, students and faculty are being locked up to spread awareness about Freedom Week. Find out how you can get involved coming up in a live report.
Construction has been underway on Flower Hill for a while now, but there is more to it than meets the eye. Find out more next on Falcon Weekly.
Hello and welcome to Falcon Weekly. I'm Kayla Gio.
And I'm Sloan Gibby. Thanks so much for joining us. Raging floodwaters swept across much of the South Sunday. In Mississippi, a 9-year-old girl may have been swept away by the flooding last night. She went missing around 8 o'clock Sunday evening, and someone reported seeing a body in the canal behind her house. Many joined a dive team to search for the missing girl, but the weather made it difficult to find her. The crews found nothing. Officials are no longer calling this a rescue mission, but are focusing on recovery.
Many parts of Alabama are also trying to dry after Sunday's soaking rains. Birmingham experienced severe thunderstorms and flash flooding, so those driving in the night experienced danger. In one spot, a car got stuck under an overpass early Monday morning. Falcon Weekly's Amelia Bennett took this picture of waters in Homewood at South Lake Shore Monday morning. Residents at one apartment complex had to be rescued by boat Sunday because of the rising water. If you must drive during or after a flood, here are some tips from the National Weather Service to remember while you're on the road. Do not drive through flooded areas. If you see a flooded street, turn around and find the best next route or wait for the water to lower. Even if the water seems to be shallow, don't try it. And if your car comes to a standstill, exit immediately. Experts say it only takes a foot of water to cause a car to float. Now it's time for a check of our Montevallo forecast.
Falcon Weekly's Madison Imbush joins us live from outside the MassCom building with a look at this week's weather. Hi, Madison.
Hi guys. Things have definitely cleared up since last night's thunderstorms. I hope everyone stays safe and dry during the flooding and storms. There's still a 20% chance of rain tonight. The high today is 69 and the low will be 44. Let's take a look at the rest of this week's forecast. The high tomorrow is 61 with a low of 44 and a 70% chance of precipitation. On Wednesday, the high is 65 and the low 42. The day will start off with clouds, but will clear up around mid-morning. Thursday will be sunny with a high of 73 and a low 49. On Friday, we can expect it to be mostly sunny. The high will be 75 and the low 52. Saturday, things continue to warm up with a high of 76 and a low of 53. And on Sunday, there is a chance of showers and thunderstorms. The high is 75 and the low 60. That's a look at this week's weather. Now back to you.
Thanks, Madison. The recent severe spring weather is also a good reminder that we are already in tornado season. Falcon Weekly reporter Kayla Hackett tells us how to be prepared when a twister touches down.
Tornado sirens. A bone-chilling sound that terrifies people every year. For us Southerners, April to early June is a prime time for tornadoes. But do people really know what to do when a siren sounds, or when a giant twister is approaching their home? There are many safety precautions you can take. Montevallo's police chief, Chad Adams, agrees that Alabama gives every warning they can, but it's up to the public to take the safety precautions.
People nowadays rely too much on somebody else to take care of them.
There are specific safety measures one can take to keep themselves safe. 1. Prepare a safety kit. Include water, food, flashlights, medical supplies, AM/FM radio, and any other important items you prefer. 2. Plan your household safe spot. The safest indoor areas are the lowest interior rooms, which include no windows. Closets and bathrooms are also safe, but watch out for shelving and potential items that could fall on you. 3. If you're driving and it's possible to pull over and seek shelter, do so. If you cannot find shelter, find the nearest low-lying ditch and lie flat and protect your head from debris. If trapped in your vehicle, lower your head below all car windows and protect your head as best as you can. The biggest safety issue is knowing the difference between a watch and a warning. A tornado watch is when there is a possibility for tornadoes, and a warning is when the tornado is on the ground and in your area. Seek shelter immediately during both weather events. Although tornadoes are very unpredictable storms, knowing what to do at the right time can save your life. Keep safe out there, Alabama. I'm Kayla Hackett, reporting for Falcon Weekly.
Alabama is currently in the middle of tornado season. The National Weather Service says March to May are the months most likely to experience tornado activity.
Student leaders from different groups and ministries on campus are coming together to raise awareness for Freedom Week.
Falcon Weekly's Chloe Allen joins us in the studio with more on the event. Chloe?
Thanks, guys. This is UM's third Freedom Week and Prison Project. The goal is to help students take action and end human trafficking by being locked up and posting bail. I got to talk with one of the leaders and how we can make a difference in the growing epidemic that is sweeping across the globe.
This week, UM's college ministry is hosting Freedom Week 2014. This is designed to help raise awareness of modern-day slavery and to help bring an end to the practice. Currently, there are 27 million people worldwide who are still held in slavery. Kyle McDonald, a part of the leadership team, explains how students can get involved with Freedom Week.
Freedom Week is here to raise awareness for modern-day slavery and human trafficking, not only worldwide, but also here in the United States. They can either come by and donate money, or they can put themselves in the little cage we have here, and people can pay to either keep them in or to get them out, sort of like a bail.
Imagine being trapped in these four walls, not seeing the light of day, and being used for sexual exploitation or slavery. Human trafficking and slavery is still a huge epidemic today in today's society. The jail cell will be located outside of the CAF today through Thursday, and donation stations will be set up outside Harmon, Comer, as well as the CAF. Reporting for Falcon Weekly, I'm Chloe Allen. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Chloe. The head of UM's athletic program is leaving. Director of Athletics Jim Herlihy is leaving UM to take over the athletic program at St. Anselm College in New Hampshire. During his time at UM, Herlihy expanded the university's athletic program through renovations, developments, and overseeing the addition of 5 new sports such as track and field and softball. A search committee to find his replacement has been named. In the meantime, Assistant Athletic Director for Compliance Don Makovsky will serve as the interim AD.
Registration for summer and fall will open up this week for underclassmen. Students classified as sophomores with 30 and 59 hours and above will be allowed to register starting Tuesday, April 8th. Freshmen or students with 29 hours or less will be able to register for classes Thursday, April 10th.
The ballots are in. With SGA selections having wrapped up, we now congratulate Tanya Wang as our new SGA president. Along with Wang, Andrea Lee will be there assisting her in her duties as vice president. Madison Webb will be taking over as our new treasurer, and Quincy Hall will be leading the 2015 class as senior class president. You can see a full list of new SGA officers on our Facebook page. Just search for Falcon Weekly. On a related note, college night elections have also come to a close. Gold Side has elected Stacey Daniels and Madison Embush as their leaders. Purple Side has entrusted their side in the hands of Seth Michael Smith and Sydney Fant. Congratulations to the new leaders. We can't wait to see what college night has in store.
The University of Montevallo's physical plant has uncovered a piece of forgotten campus history on the President's Lawn, also known as Flower Hill. Reporter Mandy Stedman has more on what they found and what they plan to do with their discovery.
For the past few weeks, the UM Physical Plant has been working on relaying the brick streets and pathways on Flower Hill. While working on the project, however, the director of the physical plant, Billy Hughes, said he decided to add one more piece to the project, discovering and rebuilding the Flower Hill Amphitheater.
During this research, behind me, I probed the ground where the brick were, trying to see if I could find more.
Within the grassy hill were old brick paths that outlined the whole theater, including audience seating. Working with his team at the physical plant and campus archivist Carrie Heatherly, Hughes said his goal is to stick with the original plan for the campus that was drawn out by the Olmsted brothers in 1930. This includes keeping the original paths of the theater and revitalizing these bricks to create a space everyone can use.
Our goals, or my goal, is to bring this whole area back to life. It is a very large amphitheater. It's 200 feet across, about 200 feet long. The stage is already there. I see great use of the amphitheater for outdoor concerts, plays, parties that could be used by a number of different people on campus.
Hughes and his team have been planning so far ahead with this amphitheater, they've even added wheelchair access paths into the design. It is hard to say when the amphitheater will be open for campus use, but it is a direct discovery within the Olmsted plan that links the University of Montevallo directly to its past with plans for the future. Reporting for Falcon Weekly, I'm Mandy Stedman.
For more information on Flower Hill construction and this new amphitheater, contact Billy Hughes at the Fiscal Plant.
Students, faculty, and staff will have the opportunity to give the gift of life this week. The university's Red Cross Blood Drive will be held Tuesday, April 8th from noon to 5 p.m. and Wednesday, April 9th from 11:30 to 5 in Farmer Hall. If you're going to donate, you need a photo ID or American Red Cross donor card. For more information, check your forum email.
This week, the Department of Communication will be hosting Honors Day to celebrate student achievement in the communication field. The event will be held on Wednesday, April 9th at 3:30 p.m. at the Student Retreat Center. Friends and family members are encouraged to attend. will host its 12th annual Montevallo Literary Art Festival later this week. The festival will showcase many award-winning authors. It will begin Friday, April 11th at Carmichael Library beginning at noon and will continue until 6 p.m. Appetizers and refreshments are to follow. To see a list of the authors speaking at this year's festival, check out our Facebook page.
The Theater is taking it back to the 16th century with William Shakespeare's Comedy of Errors. The performance will take place Wednesday, April 9th through Saturday the 12th at 7:30 p.m. There will also be a Sunday matinee on the 13th at 2 and a last evening performance at 7:30. The Comedy of Errors will be performed in Reynolds Studio Theater. Admission is $8 for faculty, staff, and students, and general admission is $12. Remember, Falcon Weekly is always at your fingertips on social media. Be sure to follow us on Facebook by searching for Falcon Weekly. Also, follow us on Twitter. Our handle is at Falcon Weekly. If you see news happening around campus, be sure to snap a photo and send it to us on social media, and we'll share it with our viewers. Still no sign of Malaysia Flight 370, but there may be another lead as to what exactly happened. We've got the latest on the month-long search for the missing plane.
And from smartphones to laptops to iPads, most of us spend a lot of time looking at screens. And now new research shows that it can affect children. Find out what that impact is and what Montevallo students think about it. Those stories and more when Falcon Weekly returns. Welcome back to Falcon Weekly. Crews searching for the missing Malaysian airliner is zeroing in on an area where a high-tech pinger detected 2 audio signals.
But as reporter Tori Dunnan tells us, officials say it could take days before they can confirm whether the signals came from the plane.
It's been more than a month since Malaysia Airlines Flight 370 went missing. That's more than the expected 30-day lifespan for batteries in the plane's black box. Still, new signs of hope in the search.
We have a promising lead, but we have yet to get the confirming evidence.
On Sunday, an Australian Navy ship towing a U.S. pinger detected signals consistent with those sent by a flight data recorder and a cockpit voice recorder. Not once, but twice. The first for more than 2 hours, the second some 13 minutes. The location more than 1,000 miles northwest of Perth, Australia.
The audible signal sounds to me just like an emergency locator beacon.
It's like finding a needle in a haystack, in this case, the Indian Ocean.
In very deep oceanic water, nothing happens fast.
The sounds were located about 15,000 feet below the sea's surface. Now crews are trying to hear the signals again. A pinging pulsing sound, experts say, is similar to this. For search teams, there's also a cautious yet optimistic approach.
I don't think in the history of aircraft searches we've ever started with such inexact information to identify where the aircraft went in the water. It certainly would be a miracle.
In Washington, I'm Tori Dunnan reporting.
There's also new information about the plane's flight path. A senior Malaysian government source says the plane skirted Indonesian airspace as it went off course. After receiving radar data, officials determined the plane curved north before turning southward towards the Indian Ocean, potentially to avoid radar detection. For the first time, the man formerly known as the Blade Runner finally gets to tell his side of the story in the murder trial of his girlfriend. Oscar Pistorius took the stand today in a South African court and recounted what happened on the night of the shooting death of his girlfriend, Riva Steenkamp. Before beginning his testimony, he took time to apologize to Steenkamp's family who were in the room. Pistorius says he's on antidepressants and sleeping aids because he's scared to sleep and has terrible nightmares that stem from that fateful Valentine's Day.
I have terrible nightmares about things that happen at night where I wake up and I can smell blood, and I wake up to being terrified.
Pistorius killed Steenkamp after he says he woke up and mistook her for a burglar. Pistorius said he kept his gun under his bed, and it's how and when he used that gun that is expected to be the focus of Tuesday's testimony.
Back here in the U.S., we're learning more about the soldier who opened fire at Fort Hood last week, killing 3 people and wounding 16 before taking his own life. Investigators still don't know what drove him to do it, but reporter Ed Lavandera has been looking into events that led up to the shooting.
Specialist Yvonne Lopez took to Facebook to vent about a range of subjects. In early March, around the time he purchased the .45 caliber handgun he eventually used in the attack, he posted, quote, "My spiritual peace has just gone," and wrote that he was full of hate after allegedly being robbed. Perhaps the most chilling is what the Iraq War veteran posted about Adam Lanza, the 20-year-old gunman of the Sandy Hook Elementary School massacre. "It is stupid to me," he wrote, "that anyone can have easy access to a powerful weapon without being mentally evaluated."
Most of these mass shootings that you have individuals who are very multidimensional. They have mental health issues, but they're not debilitated by them. I mean, they can actually function.
Fort Hood officials say Lopez was being treated for mental health issues, including depression, anxiety, and possibly PTSD. Doctors prescribed the 34-year-old Ambien and antidepressants.
He was seen just last month by a psychiatrist. We had no indication on the record of that examination that there was any sign of likely violence.
The most significant clue may be what transpired moments before Lopez opened fire. That afternoon, he stopped by the Post Human Resources office to request a temporary leave form. Jonathan Westbrook was a soldier manning the office. His father says that Lopez was told he'd have to come back later. Then Lopez snapped, coming back and opening fire, shooting Westbrook 4 times.
The first guy he shot right in front of my son was killed. And then he turned the gun towards Jonathan, aimed it, and fired.
That was Ed Lavandera reporting. Members of the Fort Hood community turned out Sunday for a prayer service honoring the victims. Both President Obama and the First Lady will attend a memorial there on Wednesday.
Mazda is recalling 42,000 vehicles because of spiders. The yellow sac spider is attracted to hydrocarbons and may build webs in a vent hose and cause a fuel tank to crack. That can lead to increased risk of a fire. The recall affects 2010 to 2012 Mazda 6 vehicles equipped with 2.5-liter engines. Mazda says it will notify owners. Dealers will fix the problem at no charge. This is the second time in 3 years Mazda has issued a recall because of spiders. In other recall news, General Motors has started repairing millions of vehicles at the center of a controversial ignition switch recall. The owners of 6 GM models can bring their vehicles to a dealer to fix the ignition switch beginning Monday. The first repairs are available for model years 2013 through 2007. The models include the Chevy Cobalt, the HHR, the Pontiac G5 and Solstice, and the Saturn Ion and Sky. Other models will be added at a later date. The faulty switches have been tied to at least 13 deaths.
Many of us dread the thought of flying. From long delays to lost baggage, traveling by air can be a headache. So which airlines have the highest quality of service? According to a new report from the Department of Transportation, Virgin America is the top airline for the 2nd year in a row. For those who fly in and out of Birmingham, all 5 airlines that service Central Alabama made the top 15. Delta Airlines is the highest at number 5, U.S. Airways followed at number 7, Southwest number 8, American Airlines number 9, and United number 12.
The next big Apple round of announcements will be in June. The company announced its next Worldwide Developers Conference will be June 2nd. The annual event is where Apple gives the press and developers a peek at its latest projects. Because it's a conference for application developers, the big unveilings tend to focus on operating systems and software. This does not relate to physical products like iPhones and iPads.
We are all addicted to our gadgets. I know I can't go a day without my phone or my laptop. But when it comes to technology and kids, how much is too much? New research published in the journal Pediatrics shows just how detrimental exposure to screens can be for a child if left unsupervised. The study looked at the tech habits of kids in 3rd grade through 5th grade. They found that when parents set limits on screen time, their kids saw an improvement in health, specifically their body mass, social behavior, sleep habits, and grades. Researchers say that this should be a message to parents that unlimited access to technology for children may be hurting their growth. With so many gadgets being available to kids, we wanted to know what the campus thought about children and their use of technology. Falcon Weekly's Wilbert Scott hits the streets of UM to find out what the students had to say.
I really don't think there's a problem with children being on their computers, phones. There's a problem with them not wanting to go outdoors as much, but I don't believe that it's actually the technology that's making them not want to go. I believe it's just our lifestyle as Americans.
It's ruining their communication skills with people. Basically, they spend way too much time on it. So then when they actually get in the conversation with another human being, they're like, they don't know how to talk. They only know how to text or whatever. And even with writing papers, they'll shorthand and texthand.
I don't think it's particularly a bad thing that they do spend a lot of time on it, but as long as they get outside and move around a little bit, and frankly, I just think they need to read more, if anything.
Know that going outside and doing other things and participating with or being cooperating with other people, talking to other people is healthier. We just have adapted to this way of life where it's easier to sit in front of a computer and
let us know what you think about kids and today's modern technology. Just send us a tweet or post a comment on our Facebook page. Thompson High School is planning to move to a new location, but not everyone is excited about the move. Find out why some say the relocation will cause a traffic nightmare at the I-65 intersection.
And we take a look at the life and legacy of silver screen icon Mickey Rooney. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Falcon Weekly.
One Shelby County High School will be moving to a new location and receiving a multi-million-dollar facility. But as I found out, the possible location has residents worried about an already busy intersection.
The city of Alabaster has been no stranger to change in the past few years, with a new City Hall annex and senior center to renovations at Thompson High School. However, since Alabaster recently created their own school district, Superintendent Dr. Wayne Vickers is looking to build a new high school and athletic facility. Alabaster resident Alan Holmes said the change is greatly needed.
Population is growing, so I'm assuming they probably need the room for or bigger schools.
Keller Williams Realty has been contracted to look for the location of the new high school. Although rumors have said the high school could be near the promenade, real estate agent Marcia Bates says that no decision has been made on the location.
No property has been secured yet. There are 3 sites that they have narrowed it down to. Traffic should be better if they chose a site near the promenade because it is more equipped for something like that. However, that's not anything that's been finalized yet as to where the site's going to be.
The city of Alabaster is requesting $100 million for a 330,000 square foot building. Other costs included in the amount are renovations to Thompson Intermediate and Thompson High School. The new high school is expected to have new athletic facilities and an aquatic center.
After a recent study of the fittest and fattest cities in the U.S., Alabama no longer has its fame as being one of the fattest states. Here is a 2014 list of the fattest cities. Although Alabama cities are no longer at the top of this category, we didn't make the fittest cities either. Researchers say that among good features in the fitter cities were quality parks and cleaner air.
A recent study found that staying fit when you are young and keeping active throughout your life can keep your mind sharp and make you a smarter senior. But that doesn't mean you have to hit the gym 24/7. According to the CDC, the average person should try to get at least 150 minutes of exercise a week. There are plenty of activities you can do anywhere to keep fit and stay healthy. Physical fitness experts say walking, riding a bike, even a weekly Zumba class can keep you feeling your best. If you break up your routine into 10, 20, or 30-minute increments, the effects of physical activity will pay off. Experts say the best way to stay active is to engage in moderate or vigorous exercise. And now we are going to take a look at what's going on in Hollywood.
Falcon Weekly's Tom Davis is here to tell us what all is happening. Hey, Tom.
Hey, guys. Leading your entertainment news, from child star to one of the biggest names in the history of the silver screen, Hollywood legend Mickey Rooney has died. Rooney, who became the United States' biggest movie star while still a teenager in the 1930s and later a versatile actor in a career that spanned 10 decades, died on Sunday of natural causes. He was nominated for 4 Academy Awards, including one for The Black Stallion. In 1983, Rooney was given an honorary Oscar for his lifetime contribution to film. A millionaire in his teens, Rooney suffered financial instability all his life and would also marry 8 times. Rooney will be sorely missed, remembered as an actor who would give it his all, no matter the size of the role or the quality of the movie. Mickey Rooney was 93 years old. In more sad news, stand-up comedian and actor John Pinette died Saturday in Pittsburgh. The comedian was discovered in his Pittsburgh hotel room around 2:30 p.m. Pinette's featured in films such as The Punisher and The Last Godfather. He is perhaps best known for his 1998 role in Seinfeld as the man who was mugged in the final episode of the show. The medical examiner's office says Pinette's death was from natural causes and that he has also been suffering from liver and heart disease. Country music's biggest stars gathered in Las Vegas Sunday night for the Academy Country Music Awards. Nashville's best attended the 49th Annual Academy of Country Music Awards hosted by Blake Shelton and Luke Bryan. The winners on the night included Miranda Lambert, who won for Single Record of the Year and Female Vocalist of the Year. Entertainer of the Year didn't go to Blake Shelton, his co-host, or his wife, all of whom were nominated. The big award went to the King of Country, George Strait. Next year, for the AECM's 50th anniversary, they'll hold the show in Texas at the Dallas Cowboys Stadium. Heading over to the box office at number 1, Captain America: The Winter Soldier set a new opening weekend record for the month of April, with an estimated $96.2 million. The biblical tale Noah sailed into second with $17 million, bringing its 10-day total to $72.3 million. The teen fantasy adaptation Divergent captured third with $13 million, followed by God's Not Dead with $7.7 million. The comedy The Grand Budapest Hotel rounded out the top 5 with $6.3 million. And that's all the entertainment news we have this week.
Thanks, Tom. The NCAA basketball title games in both the men and women's game are already making history.
Yes, but in 2 entirely different ways. Sports anchor Rhea Smith will join us. What will make both games intriguing to watch? Sports is next.
Welcome back to Falcon Weekly. I'm Rhea Smith with a look at this week's sports. Well, this is the matchup everyone saw coming. Just kidding. The madness of the NCAA men's basketball tournament has never been more evident than this year, as 8-seeded Kentucky will face 7-seeded UConn. The UConn Huskies proved that the victory against top-ranked Florida earlier this season was no fluke, as they topped them again 63-53 on Saturday. Junior forward DeAndre Daniels led the Huskies with 20 points and 10 rebounds. Future lottery pick Shabazz Napier added 12 points, was a bigger factor on the defensive end by coming away with 4 steals. Florida forward Patrick Young led the Gators with 19 points, but the Gators shot an abysmal 1 for 10 from the three-point line and less than 40% from the field. Only one other player scored in double digits for the Gators. The Kentucky Wildcats dispatched the number 2-seeded Wisconsin Badgers in a thrilling 74-73 victory Saturday. In a back-and-forth classic, freshman phenom Julius Randle paced the scene with 16 points, and Alex Porter added this monster throwdown to cut Wisconsin's lead to 1. Freshman guard Aaron Harrison, for the 3rd tourney game in a row, played the role of hero and buried another late game 3 to give the Wildcats the lead with seconds to play. Wisconsin standout forward Frank Kaminsky was held to just 8 points and 5 rebounds. History favors no team. While Kentucky is 8-3 all-time in the national championship game, Connecticut is a perfect 3-0. Tip-off is tonight at 8 o'clock on CBS. Vegas has Kentucky as a 3-point favorite, but tell us what you think. Tell us who you think is going to win tonight by visiting our Facebook page or our Twitter handle. Should be an epic climax to the most unpredictable tournament in history. While the men's basketball tournament provided us all the crazy moments, the women's tournament provided our minds with some sanity and perhaps an even more intriguing title game. Gino Auriemma's UConn Huskies will defend his national championship against perennial power Notre Dame. Both teams are undefeated. Notre Dame, playing without senior forward Natalie Achonwa, had no problem against Maryland. Guard Kayla McBride scored 28 points and grabbed 7 boards as the Fighting Irish was way too talented and way too big for the scrappy Terrapins. Notre Dame out-rebounded Maryland 50-21. The Fighting Irish finished the game shooting better than 50% from the field. Top-seeded UConn had a bit of a tough time against the powerhouse Stanford in the early going. UConn, who beats most opponents by over 30 points a game, actually trailed in this game before All-American Breanna Stewart took over in the second half. She did most of her damage at the line, hitting 9 of 11 free throws. The Huskies outscored the Cardinal 47-32 in the second half. Now, there has never been anything quite like this in NCAA's women's play. 2 teams with perfect records in a winner-take-all battle for the national championship. Once rivals in the Big East until last year, these 2 teams have met in 4 straight Final Fours, with one of these teams going on to win it all. UConn is looking to become the second team since themselves 10 years ago to claim both the men's and women's title in the same year. The championship game will be played Thursday night on ESPN. Now, for all campus sports news, be sure to check out Falcon Fever every Thursday for highlights and updates of all things Montevallo. That's it for me. Happy Madness to you all.
Thanks, Rio. There are many ways to play the classic Tetris video game: on computers, on your smartphone, or video game consoles. And now on the side of buildings.
That's right. This version of the game was created using computer-controlled LED lights on the side of a 29-story building in Philadelphia. A few lucky players were given an arcade-style joystick to control the falling blocks. Tetris became a global phenomenon in the late 1980s after game designer Hank Rogers, who had seen Tetris at a trade show in Las Vegas, acquired the rights and struck a deal to put it on Nintendo's original Game Boy. The event was part of celebrations marking the 30th anniversary of Tetris, one of the best-selling video games of all time. Well, that's all the time that we have for this week's show. Thank you so much for joining us.
For more UM news, be sure to check out the Falcon News Network blog. The web address is on your screen. We'll see you again next week.